Hello, I'm Jennifer Boykin. This week marks the 58th anniversary of the tragic sinking of the submarine USS Thresher, a story that every shipbuilder needs to know and pass down to those who follow us. I've asked Ron Murray, our Vice President of Quality, to share the story of Thresher with us, lest we forget.
I've been a part of submarines 32 years, my entire career, and so I've heard this story every year. And the reason I've heard it every year is because the submarine community doesn't let it die. Every year, the anniversary of the sinking, that message is cascaded. So the Thresher, designed and built by Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, the pride of Portsmouth, first of the class, designed to go deeper, designed to be faster than any submarine before. Successful construction period, successful initial builders trials, and she actually had a successful, was involved in some part of some type of a shock test. And just like every new construction submarine, they come back for a post-shakedown availability, a PSA, and indeed that was the case for the Thresher. She came back for her PSA, had some retrofit done, some mods done, and on April 10th left the shipyard in preps for her post-PSA sea trials. Escort ship was the Skylark, and about 7:45 in the morning of the 10th, she commenced her controlled descent to deep dive. Those deep dives are very scripted. It's part of a specialized, unique test. You go to a certain depth, you walk the ship, you don't just drop down to test depth. It's very methodical. 9:13 that morning, Thresher reports to the topside Skylark experiencing minor difficulties. That is the last clear transmission ever received from the Thresher. 9:15, there's a garbled message. 9:17, we believe we hear an attempt to blow ballast tanks. And 9:18, we hear the imploding of the pressure hull. And at that moment, 129 on board the Thresher paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Ship's crew, shipbuilders, contractors, fathers, uncles, sons. Later that day, USS Thresher is reported as lost. That day, the Navy stands up and orders a board of inquiry. And within months, after pages and pages and pages of questions and answers, documentation, artifacts, volumes and volumes of collected information, identified the most likely cause of the sinking of the Thresher was attributed to a leaky seawater joint, a joint that sprayed, starting a chain of events of one failure after another that ultimately led to the inability for Thresher to blow ballast tanks and return to the surface. And today lies on the bottom of the ocean. So those 129 didn't die in vain. The government established, the Navy established what was called the SubSafe program. Initially, the SubSafe office was created, but that's where the standards, the design standards, the size of a hole that is allowed in a pressure hull, the procurement requirements, the production requirements, the level of knowledge required, the testing requirements, the inspection requirements. Very robust requirements, all aggregated in this single volume called the SubSafe Requirements Manual to ensure that the submarine is designed and built to preclude a flooding event. And should a flooding event occur, that the submarine has the emergency procedures and the systems to return to the surface. Those are the fundamental tenets. And those are the standards that my entire 32 years, have been exposed to in the shipyard. So as rigorous as our nuclear standards are, I'll tell you the subsafe standards are paralleled. We can be never wavering in our execution of those standards. Since Thresher, no U.S. submarine has ever been lost for which the subsafe requirements were invoked. For me, it's very much, it's not just a book, it's not a spec, it's a way of thinking, it's a way of problem solving, it's a way of decision making, it's a guiding light.
Thank you, Ron. In my role, I am privileged to ride every initial sea trial for every submarine and aircraft carrier we build. And I go with full confidence because I trust your work, and I know that the lessons we learned from the Thresher are guiding us today to produce the highest quality, most complex ships for our United States Navy. I hope the Thresher story will serve as a reminder of why doing our best each and every day matters, and the importance of continuous learning, just as we did after the tragedy of the submarine Thresher. So if you would, please join me in a moment of silence on Friday, April the 9th, as we sound the shipyard whistle at 9:15 a.m. for 58 seconds, no matter where you are, as we remember the 129 lives lost aboard USS Thresher 58 years ago. Thank you for everything you do to keep yourself, your teammates, and our sailors safe.